I still remember the exact moment my entire marriage shattered. Because it happened in the middle of my daughter's 6th birthday party while pink balloons swayed in the backyard and children screamed with laughter around a plastic kiddie pool. One second I was slicing a homemade cake I baked after a midnight DoorDash shift, and the next I was staring at my husband while my father's voice came through the phone from a military base halfway across the world asking a simple question that exposed 2 years of lies. What did Julie pick out with the $500 I sent her this month? At first, I honestly thought my dad had confused us with another family. I laughed nervously while balancing the phone against my shoulder and wiping frosting off my fingers. Julie was outside chasing bubbles with her friends, wearing a paper crown I made from aluminum foil and construction paper, because we supposedly could not afford party supplies from a real store. I turned the camera toward her and smiled weakly. $500, Dad. What are you talking about? Behind me, I heard ceramic clink against tile. Michael had nearly dropped his coffee mug. When I turned around, his face looked drained of blood, and for one strange second my stomach tightened with a feeling I could not explain. My father noticed it too. His expression shifted instantly from confusion to concern. The birthday money, sweetheart. The same transfer I send every month. Did it not go through this time? I stared at him through the screen while my brain tried to catch up. My father had been stationed in Kuwait for almost 2 years working civilian military contracts after retirement because he wanted to help us financially. But he rarely talked about money directly because he knew Michael was proud and easily embarrassed. We struggled constantly, but Dad always said he was barely scraping by overseas too. Dad, I whispered slowly, I think you have something mixed up. You have not sent us money, not monthly, not ever. The silence that followed felt terrifying. My father leaned closer to the camera like he had misheard me. Then he disappeared off screen completely. I stood frozen in my kitchen while children laughed outside and Michael stared at the floor so hard it looked like he was trying to disappear into it. When Dad returned, he carried a thick folder stuffed with papers. Kayla, he said carefully, I wire $500 every single month into the account Michael gave me. For groceries, school clothes, birthdays, Christmas, everything. My heart started pounding so violently I could hear it in my ears. Dad began flipping through printed statements one by one while holding them toward the camera. October, November, December, January, 20 for transfers total. Routing number ending in 4782. My knees almost buckled. That was Michael's private account. The separate one he claimed was only for work expenses and tax deductions. For my grandkids, Dad continued softly, so you would not struggle while I was gone. So my little girl would not have to worry about food or bills while I was stuck sleeping in desert barracks overseas. Each sentence hit me harder than the last. My mind started replaying every humiliating moment from the past 2 years all at once. Julie crying because we could not afford a princess cake from the bakery. My son pretending not to care when he could not join soccer because registration cost too much. The nights I skipped dinner and lied that I had already eaten at work. The ramen noodle dinners I turned into fake adventures so the kids would not realize we were broke. All that time, money had been coming into this house. $500 every month. $12,000. I slowly turned toward Michael. He looked like a trapped animal. Sweat glistened across his forehead, and his hands shook so badly coffee dripped onto the floor from the mug he still held. You have got to be kidding me, I whispered. Kayla, he started. No, you do not get to speak yet. Dad kept talking, but his voice sounded far away now. I could barely breathe. I remembered selling my grandmother's wedding ring to pay for Julie's school supplies. I remembered driving DoorDash deliveries until midnight after my shifts at the diner while Michael claimed he was working overtime. I remembered crying in our bathroom because I felt like I was failing my children. Meanwhile, my husband had been collecting money from my father behind my back. For 2 years, I finally looked him directly in the eyes. Where is it? Michael swallowed hard. I can explain. Where's the money? He rubbed both hands over his face before whispering something so quietly I almost missed it. I have a problem. The room tilted around me. I grabbed his phone straight off the counter before he could stop me. His password was still our daughter's birthday. My fingers shook violently as I opened his banking app, and within seconds I saw it all. Monthly deposits from Kuwait, then withdrawals. ATM withdrawal casino. ATM withdrawal casino. ATM withdrawal casino. Some were $200, some were $300, some were larger. The pattern stretched back month after month after month. I thought you were working overtime, I whispered. Michael looked down. I thought you missed Julie's soccer games because of work. I thought you missed dance recitals because your boss kept you late. He stayed silent, then another memory slammed into me so hard I physically grabbed the counter for support. Christmas. Last Christmas, Julie cried herself to sleep because we told her Santa was struggling financially that year. She thought she had done something wrong. She spent months afterward trying to behave perfectly because she believed she was not good enough to deserve presents like the other kids at school. And all that time, Michael had $500 from my father sitting in his account. My rage became something cold and terrifying. You let our daughter believe she was bad because you gambled away Christmas money. Michael opened his mouth again, but my father's voice cut through the kitchen like a knife. Did my granddaughter eat ramen on her birthday while you stole from my family? Michael could not even look at the screen. Dad's voice cracked slightly, and somehow that hurt worse than anything else. I am 7,000 miles away sleeping in a military barracks trying to protect my daughter and grandkids. And you let them suffer while you emptied my account into slot machines. At that moment, Julie ran inside still wearing her little paper crown. Mommy, can we do cake now? I looked at her tiny face, so excited and innocent, and suddenly I thought I might collapse from heartbreak. She had no idea her grandfather had been sending money for real birthday parties this entire time. I forced myself to smile. Of course, baby, go grab your friends. She kissed my arm and ran back outside laughing. The second the door shut behind her, I turned back toward Michael. You did not just steal money, I said quietly. You stole memories from our children. You stole security from them. You stole their relationship with my father because they think he forgot about them. Dad stood in the background putting on his uniform jacket. I'm booking the next flight home, he said, 18 hours. And Michael better not be there when I arrive. Then the call disconnected. The kitchen went dead silent except for children laughing outside and the faint buzzing of the refrigerator. Michael looked at me with desperation mixed with anger, and for the first time in our entire marriage I saw something dangerous in his eyes. My instincts kicked in immediately. I slipped my phone behind the counter and texted my neighbor 3 quick words. Can we come? She responded almost instantly. Door is open. I did not realize how badly I needed that message until I nearly cried reading it. Michael stepped toward me. Kayla, listen to me. Julie suddenly burst back inside asking for juice boxes, and I shoved every ounce of panic deep down inside myself so my children would not see it. My hands shook while I handed drinks to the kids and smiled like nothing was wrong. One by one, parents arrived to collect their children from the party, and I forced myself to act normal at the door while Michael stayed hidden in the kitchen. The second the last child left and I locked the front door, Michael started talking nonstop. He blamed stress. He blamed gambling addiction. He blamed pressure. He blamed shame. Then he blamed me for not noticing sooner. I held up my hand and stopped him cold. Without saying a word, I placed my phone on the counter between us and hit record. His eyes immediately flicked toward it. Good, I said. Explain everything again. For the next hour he paced our kitchen admitting piece after piece. He claimed he always planned to pay it back. He swore he loved us. He insisted addiction made people do terrible things. But every excuse sounded hollow because while he gambled, our children suffered. When the kids came inside asking about dinner, I told them we were having a sleepover in Mommy's room that night. They got excited instantly and dragged blankets and stuffed animals into my bedroom while I smiled through tears. The second they settled in with a movie on my laptop, I locked the bedroom door. Michael knocked once hard enough to rattle the frame. Open the door. The kids are sleeping, I answered loudly. He went quiet after that. Inside the bathroom with the faucet running to cover my voice, I called the non-emergency police line and explained everything. The operator gave me a report number and asked if I wanted officers to do extra patrols near the house overnight. Hearing another adult speak calmly to me helped keep me grounded while my entire world spun apart. Around midnight, my dad texted me his flight information from Kuwait. My mother separately messaged that she had already contacted a forensic accountant who specialized in financial abuse. That phrase stuck in my mind. Financial abuse. I had never considered that what Michael did went beyond gambling. But suddenly I saw the entire marriage differently. The control, the lies, the constant guilt whenever I spent money on myself. The way he always insisted we were barely surviving while secretly draining every account around us. I barely slept that night. Around 3 in the morning I heard movement in the garage and quietly documented everything in my phone notes. The garage door opened twice. Michael's truck started, then stopped, then started again. I wrote down every detail because suddenly evidence mattered. By sunrise I had created a complete timeline stretching back 2 years. Every missed birthday, every fake overtime shift, every casino withdrawal, every excuse. The kids woke up cheerful and sleepy while Michael snored on the couch downstairs surrounded by beer bottles and cigarette butts. Julie asked if Daddy was sick, and I told her he was just tired. While braiding her hair for school, I nearly broke down when she quietly asked me something that shattered my heart. Mommy, "Do you think Santa still likes me now?" I had to turn away so she would not see me crying. After the school bus picked them up, I drove straight to the bank and opened my own account. I transferred exactly half the money from our joint checking account after taking screenshots of every balance and transaction first. Then I changed my work direct deposits immediately. When I returned home, Michael was still asleep. I gathered every important document I could find: birth certificates, social security cards, insurance paperwork, tax returns. Then I found the real nightmare hidden inside his desk: casino statements going back 3 years. 3, not 2. This had started long before my father even began sending money. I photographed every page. While sitting in my car organizing evidence, my phone suddenly exploded with fraud alerts. Michael was downtown draining our joint account through ATM withdrawals. For $100 gone before I froze the account. Then later that afternoon, he took a $2,000 cash advance from our credit card at a casino ATM before I could freeze that too. The apology texts quickly transformed into angry messages accusing me of ruining his life. Then came the threats: "If you keep this up, I will take the kids." I screenshot every single message. That evening I met with a legal aid attorney named Lucille Donnelly. She listened carefully while reviewing my evidence folders and immediately started paperwork for emergency custody protections. She had seen this pattern before. She said quietly: "Gambling, financial control, escalating anger after exposure." Her calm confidence kept me from completely falling apart. The next afternoon my father finally arrived. I still remember opening the front door and seeing him standing there in dusty contractor gear holding a duffel bag after nearly 20 hours of travel. The second the kids saw him, they screamed and ran into his arms. He dropped everything and lifted them both like they weighed nothing. Over their heads, he looked directly at me, and something inside me finally cracked. I had spent years feeling alone while trying to hold everything together. Seeing my father there made me realize I did not have to survive this by myself anymore. Michael peeked around the hallway corner when he heard the commotion, but quickly stepped back when Dad locked eyes with him. After the kids went outside to play, Dad spread paperwork across the kitchen table like evidence in a courtroom. 26 transfers total. He said calmly, $13,000. Michael mumbled something about addiction being an illness, but Dad silenced him with one look. An illness did not force you to watch children suffer while you stole from them. Michael crossed his arms defensively. "This is my house too." Dad nodded once and pulled out his phone. "Then we will let the police help us sort it out." 2 officers arrived within 20 minutes for a civil standby. They explained carefully that they could not permanently remove Michael from the home without a court order, but strongly encouraged him to leave voluntarily for everyone's safety. Michael shoved clothes into garbage bags while muttering under his breath about his rights and unfair treatment. But eventually he walked out the front door carrying 2 trash bags and looking smaller than I had ever seen him. The second his truck disappeared down the street, I collapsed into a chair and cried so hard I could barely breathe. That night Dad stayed awake with me while I created giant poster board timelines matching every casino withdrawal to every family hardship. $200 withdrawn the same day Julie missed a field trip because we supposedly could not afford $15. $300 withdrawn the week my son had to quit soccer. $500 withdrawn days before Christmas, while our daughter cried herself to sleep wondering why Santa forgot her. At 3 in the morning the forensic accountant called. She had uncovered 2 additional transfers we missed. 26 total payments. $13,000 stolen. The next day I filed an official police report with Detective Marshall Crow. He warned me these cases were complicated when marriage and shared finances were involved, but he carefully documented everything. Then I scheduled counseling for Julie. I did not realize how deeply all of this had damaged her until after her first session. Her counselor came out holding a drawing Julie had made of herself with the word bed written across her chest. The counselor explained gently that Julie believed adult problems happened because she was not lovable enough. I physically felt something break inside me hearing that. My husband had not only stolen money, he had stolen my daughter's sense of worth. Over the following weeks more truths surfaced. Debt collectors began calling about hidden credit cards. We discovered Michael had borrowed money from coworkers too. Some nights he sent crying voicemails begging forgiveness. Other nights he sent furious texts blaming me, my father, stress, casinos, everyone except himself. I saved every message. Family court moved quickly after the threats started. Temporary custody was granted to me while Michael received supervised visitation until evaluations could be completed. The first supervised visit destroyed me. Julie spent the entire drive there asking if Daddy still loved her. When we arrived, she hugged him tightly while he sobbed into her hair. For one brief second, I almost hated myself for what was happening. Then I remembered the casino withdrawals, the lies, the birthdays, the Christmas mornings, the hunger. Love without safety means nothing. Months later, the divorce finalized. Michael eventually entered addiction treatment after criminal charges became a real possibility. Part of me hopes he truly recovers someday for the kids' sake. Addiction is real. I know that now, but addiction does not erase responsibility, and it does not erase the damage done to innocent people. Dad helped us move into a smaller townhouse near my parents after everything settled. The kids finally have stability again. Julie started soccer this spring. My son joined robotics club. And last Christmas my father showed up dressed like Santa with enough presents to make both kids scream themselves hoarse with excitement. But the moment that stays with me most happened quietly a few weeks ago. Julie and I were shopping for her upcoming birthday party when she stopped in front of a huge princess cake display at the bakery. She looked up at me nervously and asked if it cost too much. I knelt beside her right there in the aisle. "Baby," I told her softly, "you never have to earn love by being perfect." She stared at me for a second before wrapping her arms around my neck. Then she whispered something that nearly made me cry right there in public. "So Santa always loved me." I held her so tightly. "Always, sweetheart, always."